Welcome back to Guilty Eats, the channel where we explore everything food, dining, and the secrets behind the biggest names in the restaurant world. If you're a foodie, or even just someone who loves to stay updated on which restaurants are thriving and which ones are quietly slipping away, then you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into part 2 of our series, looking at 6 more big restaurant chains that are falling apart in 2025. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, we already covered Red Lobster, TGI Fridays, Boston Market, Subway, KFC, and Applebee's. But the truth is, they're not the only giants losing steam. The restaurant industry is shifting fast, and even some of the names we once thought were untouchable are struggling to keep up. So grab a seat, hit that subscribe button, and let's break down what's happening to these once powerful chains. For decades, Olive Garden has been the go-to for endless breadsticks, hearty pasta bowls, and that cozy, family-style dining atmosphere. But in 2025, Olive Garden is finding itself in trouble. The biggest challenge? Consumer tastes are changing. While some loyal customers still love the classics, younger diners are looking for lighter, healthier, and fresher options. Pasta. Heavy menus don't exactly appeal to Gen Z health trends. Competitors are offering customizable bowls, organic ingredients, and fusion flavors, things Olive Garden has been slow to adopt. The problem doesn't end there. Olive Garden has long been a punchline in memes and comedy skits for being basic or cheap Italian food. While humor doesn't always hurt sales, it does affect how new generations see the chain. And in an era where restaurants have to win cultural approval as much as taste buds, this matters. To be fair, Olive Garden still has strong brand recognition, and its never-ending pasta bowl promotions keep people coming back. But with inflation driving up food costs, those promotions are harder to sustain profitably. Darden Restaurants, the parent company, recently closed a third of its Bahama Breeze locations amid declining sales, signaling that Olive Garden could be under pressure as well. The bottom line? Olive Garden isn't collapsing overnight, but it's showing cracks. In a time when customers want fast, casual, innovative dining, a place that hasn't changed much in 20 years is bound to fall behind. If Olive Garden's problem is being stuck in the past, Chili's shows what happens when an entire category of casual dining starts to collapse under modern tastes. Chili's used to be everywhere. Whether you wanted baby back ribs or sizzling fajitas, they were the face of American casual dining. But in 2025, Chili's is facing one of the worst slumps in its history. The issue here is casual dining fatigue. Chains like Chili's, Applebee's, and Ruby Tuesday all hit their peak in the late 1990s and early 2000s. Back then, going out for dinner at a place with affordable appetizers, big portion sizes, and family-friendly seating was exciting. Now, not so much. Today's diners want fast, affordable, and Instagram-worthy meals. Instead of sitting down at Chili's, they're grabbing tacos from local food trucks, ramen bowls from hip cafes, or meal-prepped bowls from delivery apps. Chili's hasn't really been able to capture that cultural shift. The other problem is menu pricing. What used to feel affordable doesn't anymore. A plate of fajitas or a burger at Chili's can now run $15 to $20, and when people realize they can spend the same amount at a trendy, local spot, Chili's starts losing its appeal. Despite occasional attempts at rebranding, like rolling out new cocktails or emphasizing Tex-Mex, Chili's is still viewed as a relic of another time. Unless they make a bold change in 2025, the chain risks slowly fading into irrelevance. Chili's may struggle to attract dinner crowds, but IHOP shows that even breakfast, the meal it once owned, is no longer safe from fierce competition. IHOP is one of those chains that feels timeless. Opens 24 hours, serving pancakes, omelets, and coffee to families, late-night crowds, and weekend brunchers. But in 2025, even IHOP is struggling. The biggest problem? The breakfast wars. Over the last decade, breakfast became the new battleground for fast food giants. McDonald's expanded its breakfast menu, Wendy's jumped in, and even Starbucks has been competing heavily with protein boxes, egg sandwiches, and cold brews. IHOP suddenly isn't the only place people think of for pancakes and eggs. Another problem is inflation and portion sizes. A classic IHOP breakfast that once felt cheap and filling now feels overpriced. Diners notice when pancakes are thinner, bacon strips are fewer, or coffee refills feel watered down. Cultural trends also play a role. Younger generations love brunch, but they want it with avocado toast, mimosa flights, and outdoor patios. IHOP, with its outdated interiors and predictable menus, feels like it hasn't evolved. To its credit, IHOP has tried experimenting. Remember when they briefly became IHOB to push burgers? But these attempts often feel gimmicky instead of sustainable solutions. Between 2022 and 2025, nearly 100 IHOP locations closed in the U.S., with projections of 70 to 90 more closures in 2025. Unless IHOP can reimagine itself as a modern brunch destination, it may not survive the next decade. If IHOP's decline proves breakfast isn't untouchable, Pizza Express is proof that even a once trendy sit-down pizza brand can lose its identity in a crowded market. Shifting away from U.S. chains, let's talk about Pizza Express, a once dominant casual dining brand in the U.K. At its peak, Pizza Express was everywhere, known for its sit-down pizza experience that felt a step above fast food. But, in 2025, it's becoming one of the clearest examples of how the restaurant market has changed. The first major issue is debt. Pizza Express has been carrying massive financial baggage for years, and even though they've tried restructuring, the pandemic and the slow recovery afterward hit them hard. About 50 central support roles were cut during a recent restructuring, highlighting instability. The second issue is oversaturation. There are just too many mid-tier pizza chains competing for the same audience. Zizzi, Prezzo, Franco Manca, and even delivery options like Domino's. For many customers, it doesn't make sense to pay more for Pizza Express when they can either go premium at an independent place or order a cheaper, faster pizza at home. The once trendy chain is now struggling to prove why it still matters. Unless it can reinvent itself, Pizza Express may become another cautionary tale of overexpansion and lost relevance. Pizza Express may be fading into the background, but Nando's tells a different story. A chain that once defined cool culture is now watching its hype disappear. Nando's was once a phenomenon, especially in the UK, South Africa, and other international markets. Known for its peri-peri chicken, cheeky marketing, and laid-back vibe, Nando's felt fresh, fun, and different. But by 2025, the chain is no longer the unstoppable force it once was. The biggest challenge has been supply chain and cost issues. Nando's relies on imported spices and ingredients to maintain its signature flavors, and rising costs have made menu prices soar. A meal at Nando's, once seen as a casual, affordable treat, is now pricey enough that customers are second-guessing it. Another issue is competition. Nando's inspired a whole wave of peri-peri and flame-grilled chicken imitators. Now, smaller independent restaurants are offering similar dishes with fresher ingredients, often at lower prices. Culturally, Nando's also isn't as cool as it used to be. In the 2010s, it was practically a meme, mentioned in pop culture, music, and social media. Now, younger diners are moving toward more authentic street food vibes, Korean, BBQ, or other global cuisines. Nando's still has around 473 UK locations, but for a brand built on being trendy, that's a dangerous place to be. Nando's may have lost its cultural cool, but Hooters shows what happens when a brand's entire identity no longer fits the times. Finally, let's talk about Hooters, a chain that has been controversial from the start, but once had a clear audience. Known for its wings, beer, and Hooters Girls servers, the brand leaned heavily on its image. But in 2025, Hooters is falling apart faster than ever. The problem is simple. The brand no longer fits the times. Cultural attitudes have shifted dramatically, and what once passed as cheeky fun now feels outdated or downright uncomfortable. Many customers, especially younger ones, don't see the appeal. On top of that, competition in the sports bar space has grown. Chains like Buffalo Wild Wings, Wingstop, and countless local sports bars offer better food, better beer selections, and a more inclusive environment. Hooters hasn't kept up. Financially, Hooters filed for Chapter 11 and closed more than 30 company-owned locations amid $376 million in debt. Attempts to modernize, like launching Hoots, a fast-casual spin-off without the waitresses, haven't gained much traction. The reality is that Hooters was built for a very different cultural moment. In 2025, it's struggling to survive. And unless it completely reinvents itself, its decline may be irreversible. And there you have it. 6 more big restaurant chains that are falling apart in 2025. Olive Garden, Chili's, IHOP, Pizza Express, Nando's, and Hooters all tell the same story in different ways. The dining world is changing fast, and even the biggest names can't survive without adapting. Some of these chains might bounce back with a reinvention, while others could vanish from the map entirely. Either way, it's a reminder that nothing in the restaurant industry is guaranteed. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to subscribe to Guilty Eats, hit that like button, and share your thoughts in the comments. Which of these chains do you think will survive? And which ones are you saying goodbye to? Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more food stories you won't want to miss.